This one take is brought to you by ImportBible.com. You like imported cars? Check out ImportBible.com, your source for imported car news and top quality import-themed stuff like stickers, t-shirts, and accessories. Find everything import at ImportBible.com.
Hey guys, welcome to my 1990 Nissan Skyline R32 GTR. I know all of you have been very patiently, it's not true, you've all been impatiently waiting for this video, and I get it. I had to sort some things out. I had to get license plates and do all the things, and now here we are. Here's your video. This is a car that is very special to those of us that grew up playing video games. If you happen to be watching this from Japan or Australia or even Canada, you might not be as impressed. In America, we never got to have these, and now that we can have them, it's just the coolest thing. This car is a very stock one-owner car. It came from Japan through international vehicle importers here in California. I definitely recommend, if you're in the US, calling them to get a Skyline. It was much easier than having to deal with importing one myself. I showed up, I test drove, and then I showed up with a trailer and took it home. It was that easy. It's like buying any other used car. This car has 49,000 kilometers on it, which is around 30,000 miles. It's very clean. It's mostly original. It does have a couple little things here and there. It's got the dash bubble that everyone gets, and I may fix that at some point. And right now my air conditioner isn't working. I don't think it's the air conditioner. I think it's the controller back here. But I have a couple of little things to sort out. As far as modifications go, the only modifications in the whole car are the strut tower brace in the front. There's a Fujitsu muffler in the back, which I actually thought was completely stock until we put the car in a lift, and I looked at it. It's very quiet. And then I've done, if we look here, check this out. You see this little guy here, this little piece of rubber hose right in there? That is a little restrictor that this goes into the wastegate actuator. And what this does is it restricts the car to 0.7 bar of boost, and that is to conform with the gentleman's agreement, 280 horsepower. All you have to do is yoink that off and cut it and plug it back in, and you run 1 bar of boost without doing anything else. So instead of 10 psi, you're running 14 psi, which means you go from 280 horsepower to about 325 horsepower with no other mods, and it's actually recommended in Japan that that's what owners do. This one, it just never had it. So let's go for a drive, and let's see what's going on in here. Driving on the right's not that weird to me. I kind of enjoy it. It's a fun game. The RB26 engine, 2.6 liter inline 6 twin turbos. In the R32, those turbos are ceramic wheel turbos, and they become metal for the 33 and the 34s. So if you're trying to do huge power in these, you do need to change the turbos. I plan to leave this car stock, because if you look at auction values and stuff like that, stock is where it's at. The modified cars just don't hold their value, and despite how nice they are to drive modified, this one is going to remain basically stock. Oh, also I did the high-cast lockout. This car comes with a 4-wheel steering system. It's semi-primitive. And it works, although I installed the lockout because I simply don't really like how it drives with high-cast enabled. So it pulls very strong. It's very smooth. I think it's even a little smoother than BMW's inline 6s. It's amazingly refined for a 25-year-old car. And with the stock suspension, it rides and drives really well. You heard my case flopping around in the trunk there, sorry. It's pretty quick. It's not crazy fast, but certainly fast enough to have a good time in. And a lot of people modify these things in various ways for various things, but I don't think enough people really talk about how nice they are to drive when they're stock. The refinement is amazing. The steering is bang on. I mean, I think of this period, only maybe the E30 M3 and maybe some Porsches have better steering than this. It's so direct. It has none of that on-center slop that you get from other 90s cars. It really goes where you point it, and it squirts. It's a really good GT car. It's very comfortable. It's got a usable back seat and a big trunk that holds a lot of stuff. It really handles bumps well. And it's got that old school turbo feel where you have to build the boost. You can probably hear the wind rushing by. Some of these door seals are a little bit dry rotted, and unfortunately they're very, very expensive to replace. They're like $1,000 to replace the door seals. And so I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It does keep water out, so they serve their purpose, although you get some wind noise. I really enjoy driving this car. I mean, I want an R34. I wanted an R34, and after driving the stock one in Japan for drive, like I fell in love with them. And then when I went to international vehicle importers and I drove this, the truth is, although they look different, the driving experience of the R32 is very, very close to that of the R34. And so I'm going to drive this one and hang on to it and take care of it and enjoy it. And then when it comes time, maybe I'll get myself an R34. But I really like so many things about it. The power delivery and the refinement and the ride. And it's everything a GT car should be, to me. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool. Like, you don't need to modify a Skyline to make it cool. In America, anyway, a stock Skyline is a unicorn and is extremely cool. Oh, you might wonder, hey, how do I deal with driving on the right as far as drive-thrus and all that stuff goes? First off, I don't go to drive-thrus. They serve disgusting food at drive-thrus, so you won't ever catch me at a drive-thru. But for toll booths, I got the grabber, so I can reach and get my ticket and send my money. And the steel grip grabber, which is I think how handicapped people get soup cans off of shelves, I use it for the parking garage tickets. This thing gets pretty good fuel economy. It gets around 24 miles a gallon on California 91 octane. It's a really usable car. I mean, if you can deal with driving on the right, if that's not too weird for you. Other than that, it's incredibly practical. Let's see, what else? Oh, so I have to plug my friend Anthony at Exotic Car Incorporated. The paint on the car was a little bit tired when I got it. There were a couple scratches. I think it had spent some time outside. So Anthony hooked it up with a full paint correction and a spot touch-up in a couple of spots. He also took my stock 16-inch wheels and refinished them, powder-coated them bronze, and they look great. I really like the look of the car. Oh, I love driving this thing. It is so nice. You cannot believe that this car is 25 years old to drive it. I mean, when you drive this and you think about the fact that this car was built at the same time, give or take, as my Fox body Mustang, that car is such a piece of shit compared to this car. This thing is like, I mean, it's like a spaceship. It's like, you know, the current GTR is very spaceshipy too, but this with the manual, and it only weighs like 3,100 pounds, and so spaceship for that time is analog for this time, but the refinement carries over. I use the word refined a lot, but that's really how I feel about this car. It's incredibly refined. one thing I probably have to upgrade is the brakes. They are stock on this car, and I don't really know if they're original or if the pads and stuff had been done at some point. They're okay. They're not great. They're great for 1990, but I have some upgraded rotors and pads and fluid on the way. So we're going to stick with the standard size. I'm not going to upsize it, but if we just get a little bit better hardware on the standard size, we should be good to go. Also, I really like the 16-inch wheels, and I want to keep those, except I'm having a hard time finding tires. This car came with a brand new set of R888s, which have really good grip, and they're a little oversized, so they've got that balloony 80s tarmac rally thing going on, which I really like, but it's hard to find the tires I want in this size, so I may have to go to a 17-inch wheel just to get the tires I want, which isn't what I want to do. I don't want to put rims on it, but if it means I can get the tires I want, it's probably worthwhile. And we've caught an Xterra. So, you know, do I recommend buying a Skyline? Like, yeah, I totally do. It's great fun to drive. It's great fun to own. It has really good curb appeal. It's got a really strong engine that you can do a couple little things to, and oh, thank you, sir. You can do a couple little things to it and have a monster if you want, or you can leave it stock like this and have a fast, fun car that will hold its value. I mean, you know, stock Supra, stock RX-7, stock Skyline, all the Japanese cars of the period are worth a lot of money when they're stock, and so I don't know, this thing is certainly fast enough that I can have a lot of fun in it and not have to worry too much about losing money down the road. And other than the little issues that I have now, I mean, my air conditioning controller not working, and for some reason the parking brake light, oh, it just went away. The parking brake light came on a little bit, and the parking brake is obviously not on. So that, I mean, that's just a fuse or something dumb, I don't know, but I gotta go get that couple little things sorted out still. But overall, this car is just incredible, and it makes me really happy. It's really free to rev, and the boost comes on. Laggy, yes. It's just a lot of fun. Driving on the right is a fun game to play too. It's different than all the other cars. It gives you something to think about. So, is this the perfect Skyline? No, it's not the perfect Skyline, but it's very nice. It's very clean. It puts a big smile on my face, and I think it's a good investment. And so, if you've been thinking about getting one of your own, I would say sure, yeah, absolutely. Have fun. Get Skyline. And it's also, there's such a wonderful forbidden fruit thing that goes on. The fact that we couldn't have these cars for so long, and they are so nice to drive, it makes me that much happier that we can have them now. It's a great road trip car. I want to drive up to wine country with my lady. I want to go put a lot of miles on this car. In fact, I'm going to pass 50,000 kilometers in this car on the way home today from this shoot. So there you have it. That's my Skyline, and I'm going to continue driving this car, and maybe we'll make other videos with it. I know some of you guys, they ask me to make videos of my cars all the time, and I feel weird about it. I feel like I'm not a hey, look at my stuff guy. I don't like showing off my stuff in that way, but it seems that this car is something that a lot of you, especially Americans, are genuinely curious about, because so few people have done reviews of them, and it's a fabulous car. It's of the age of exceptional Japanese build quality, and in stock form, it's amazing when you think about it being 25 years old. It is so much faster than anything else that you could buy from that period that isn't, you know, a Diablo or something like that. And so thank you for watching, and thank you for your continued enthusiasm towards my Skyline, and I'm going to keep driving it and enjoying it, and I will see you guys later.